The restaurant lights shimmered like 1,000 tiny stars, bouncing off the polished glasses and marble tables. Elena Carter, one of the most feared and respected CEOs in the city, sat tall and poised at her table. She had built an empire from scratch, known for her razor-sharp decisions, her immaculate suits, and her ability to command any room she entered. But tonight was different. Tonight, she wasn't here to discuss mergers or million-dollar deals, she was on a blind date. A blind date she already regretted. Her assistant had set it up, insisting that Elena needed to try living outside of boardrooms and corporate war zones. Elena agreed reluctantly, if only to prove that she could manage even this with the same sharp efficiency she used to conquer business. But when her date walked in, her perfectly painted lips curled in suppressed disdain. He wasn't what she expected. The man, Daniel Hayes, carried no air of wealth or power. His shirt was neatly ironed but inexpensive, his shoes scuffed at the edges, and though his face held kindness, his hands looked rough from hard work. What struck her most wasn't just his modest appearance, it was the little girl clinging shyly to his hand. He apologized quickly, saying the babysitter had cancelled at the last minute. Elena's eyes narrowed. She, a self-made billionaire, was supposed to spend her evening with a single dad who clearly had nothing to offer her world? The thought made her almost laugh. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that show how life can surprise us in the most unexpected ways, please take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. It helps us continue sharing powerful stories like this one. Elena tolerated dinner, but her thoughts were sharp and mocking. She noticed how Daniel stumbled slightly while ordering, how he carefully cut his daughter's food before his own, and how he listened attentively to her stories about work though he couldn't possibly understand the scale of her world. To Elena, it felt almost insulting. Yet, behind her polished smile, she missed something, the quiet resilience in his eyes, the kind that only came from surviving storms most people couldn't see. The night ended awkwardly. Elena brushed him off politely, assuming she'd never see him again. But fate had a different plan. Days later, Elena was scheduled to give a keynote speech at an exclusive business summit. The venue was a towering glass skyscraper, filled with the city's most powerful leaders. Cameras flashed, reporters scribbled notes, and investors waited eagerly for her words. As she walked confidently onto the stage, no one could have guessed that her life was about to hang by a thread. Halfway through her presentation, a sudden chaos erupted. A man stormed into the hall, his voice trembling with rage, demanding justice for a failed deal that had destroyed his company. He wasn't just angry, he was dangerous. Security moved in, but the man pulled out a concealed weapon, sending the room into panic. Screams echoed, chairs toppled, and fear rippled like wildfire. Elena froze, her heart slamming against her ribs. For the first time in her carefully controlled life, she felt powerless. And then, out of the terrified crowd, Daniel appeared. He had been there quietly, working as a technician for the event, setting up sound systems to earn extra money. Elena barely recognized him at first, but what happened next etched his presence into her memory forever. Moving with precision, Daniel grabbed a chair, using it as a shield, and spoke firmly to the assailant. His voice carried calm authority, the kind that demanded attention. Every move was calculated, his eyes locked on the weapon. Elena watched in disbelief as the modest man she had dismissed revealed a side she could never have imagined. Later, she would learn the truth. Daniel had once served as a combat medic in the military. He had saved lives in war zones, negotiated with desperate men holding guns, and kept calm under fire when chaos raged around him. Those skills, hidden beneath the surface of his quiet single-dad life, now emerged to protect everyone in that room, including Elena. In tense minutes that felt like hours, Daniel defused the situation, guiding the man to surrender before security took over. No one was harmed. The summit resumed, but nothing felt the same. Elena sat trembling backstage, replaying the scene in her mind. She remembered the man she had mocked, the one she had dismissed as beneath her, stepping into danger without hesitation to shield strangers, including her. That night, she couldn't shake the weight of her own arrogance. For years, she had measured worth by wealth, status, and success. Yet Daniel, with none of those trappings, had proven more powerful than all her boardrooms combined. When she saw him later, he wasn't boasting, wasn't seeking attention. He was simply holding his daughter close, whispering softly to calm her. Elena felt something shift deep inside her, an unfamiliar ache in her chest, a longing she hadn't allowed herself to feel in years. Respect. Admiration. And something more. In the weeks that followed, Elena found herself reaching out to Daniel, not as the CEO to a technician, not as a woman pitying a single dad, but as a human being humbled by another's strength. She learned of his sacrifices, the nights he stayed awake to comfort his daughter, the jobs he juggled just to give her a safe life, the battles he carried silently while still standing tall. He, in turn, discovered that behind her steel walls, Elena was lonely, exhausted, and desperate for something real. Slowly, walls crumbled. Dinners turned into conversations that stretched late into the night. Laughter echoed where judgment once lived. Elena began to understand that power wasn't in empires, it was in love, resilience, and the courage to keep going when life tried to break you. And Daniel, the man she once mocked, became the one who showed her the meaning of strength. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that everyone carries hidden battles and hidden strengths, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. Your support helps us bring more stories of hope, love, and second chances to life. By the time months passed, Elena no longer saw Daniel as just a single dad. She saw him as the man who saved her life, not just in that chaotic moment at the summit, but in every quiet moment after, teaching her that true power lies not in control, but in compassion. And as for Daniel, he found not just respect but love, proving that sometimes, the people we underestimate are the ones who change our lives forever.